For a sense of scale here, I'm expecting this grind to take me through the rest of the year at least. That is my 10th 99 on the account. That is the 11th 99 on the account. That is the 12th 99 on the account, the 15th 99 on the UIM, and number 16 on the account. Number 17 out of 23, just 6 more to go. Number 18 on the account, just 5 more. 19 out of 23. There are only 4 skills left for me to get to 99 before I am fully maxed on the UIM, and the one that I'm going to be working on next is probably the most difficult of them all, which is agility at the Hallowed Sepulchre. Here's the thing, usually with skilling it's just a matter of doing the exact same thing over and over again until the XP count gets to 13 million, and you usually just get into a state where you're not really thinking about it. You might have like a podcast or a video on that you're focusing on, and the skilling activity is the side thing. But with the Hallowed Sepulchre, you can't really do that. This is something that I've heard skillers say is the best skilling method, and it's also something that I've heard PVMers say is the best skilling method. So let's talk about how the Hallowed Sepulchre works. At its core, the Hallowed Sepulchre is a 7-minute long agility course split into 5 floors that has traps in it that you have to dodge. If you get hit by a trap, you get sent back to the nearest safe spot. And that's what makes it different from a normal agility course. You have to actively be looking out for things like flying swords, arrows, lightning, teleport tiles, and flamethrowers. And as you progress through the course, it starts throwing more and more at you at the same time, ending with a huge gauntlet at the end of floor 5. One other unique thing about the Sepulchre is that there are coffins scattered throughout that you can search to get loot. The Grand Coffin at the very end gives the best loot and also has the chance to give 2 unique items, the Strange Old Lockpick, which has a use of barrows, and the Ring of Endurance, which significantly reduces your run drain and doubles the effect of any stamina potion you drink. But before I can get to any of that, I need to get there in the first place. The Hallowed Sepulchre is in Darkmire, so I need the Fire Noble outfit to get there without getting aggroed by everything. I also need an easy way to get there, which... oh my god, I got to do it. I get to do the thing! There's been a common request for UIMs for years at this point to add the Draken's Medallion to Purdue's shop, to the point where it's basically become a meme, and earlier this year they finally went ahead and did it, so now I get to actually take advantage of this. And with the medallion easily obtained now, I can just teleport to Darkmire and run right there. Previously I would have had to go all the way to Mireditch to get one, and it would have been this whole process. So for my first few runs here, I'm going to be looting any of the portal coffins I come across, like this one. Some of the coffins require you to bring things like planks and vampire dust to get to them, which don't stack in the inventory and also weigh you down, but the portals only require runes. You're just casting an enchantment spell on them, so I'm just going to loot these along with the Grand Coffin, at least at the start. Alright, I had to teleport out of my first run through because I was starting to get really low on health, which is something I'll be able to solve later, but for now I made it out with 13 hallowed marks, and that is going to be enough to give me my first purchase from the shop, some hallowed crystal shards. These act as teleports directly to the Sepulchre lobby, so I don't need to run through Darkmire whenever I need to leave to do something else and come back. The next thing I'm saving up for is the hallowed ring at 250 marks. Oh, there's the lockpick. That is a 1 in 60 from the coffin on the 4th floor. I'm going to hang on to that. I think I'm going to use it at the next UIM showdown for some easy barrows points. I'm probably going to get a few of these on the way to 99 actually. Ooh, my first mysterious page. I will show what that's for in a moment. Okay, if you investigate this skeleton in the lobby, you can get a book which you can put these pages into. It just gives a bit of lore for the area. Alright, I have 250 hallowed marks in the inventory, which only took a few hours. I'm buying the hallowed ring, which makes it so that I don't take damage when I get hit by a trap, and it'll also save a tick or two during that animation. This is really important for a couple reasons. First, it means I don't need to worry about my health at all, and it makes it impossible to die in here. And secondly, because that was the only thing I was planning on buying during this grind, I don't need to worry about looting the coffins anymore. I'm still going to be looting the Grand Coffin at the very end since it's not a lot of time wasted and also gives the best loot. This also means that I'm going to have a much better chance of meeting the timer for the last coffin, which I've basically been completely unable to do so far since I've been looting all the portal and grapple coffins I can. Checking in here, I feel like my run energy has definitely been the biggest problem for me so far. I've managed to get to the final gauntlet on the 5th floor consistently with a lot of time left to spare on the timer, but if I fail the gauntlet even just a few times in a row, I end up with near 0 run energy, so I've started bringing some stamina pots, which should basically resolve that for me, and hopefully I'll get good enough at the final gauntlet that I can just stop using them, but we'll see. I should also mention this method gives about 95k XP per hour, so if I'm playing optimally, which will take a while to get to that point, it should be like a 50-hour grind for 99. Okay, that's really good to know. I just failed the final gauntlet like 4 times in a row, and I still had 50 seconds left on the clock, so I think I'm going to be able to make this pretty consistent. Good morning, this is literally my first run of the day. I just woke up and I managed to beat the timer, so I feel like things are going pretty well. Got an elite clue too. Never mind, it is a wieldy step, everything is horrible. Man, these Ranar seeds are gonna be really nice. There is a 1 in 10 chance to get 1 or 2 Ranar seeds from the Grand Coffin, so on the scale of 99 agility, that's gonna put a decent dent in the 99 herblore grind. Ooh, that is my first sub 7, that's good. The XP per hour for this method really depends on how quickly you can complete the course, so I'm really gonna need to get my average time down to get anywhere close to that 95k per hour figure. Okay, it has been a little bit, and I'm actually ready to make another purchase, and I think this might end up being the last one I make. Private instances, and here's why that's important. If I'm the only person in the Sepulchre, and it's creating the instance when I enter, I know the trap cycles are going to be 100% consistent, so I can basically do the first 1 or 2 floors tick perfectly without thinking. But if there's someone else in the instance already, the traps will be at different points in their cycles. I don't really care about the time loss from having to wait for a cycle, but it is a bit annoying now that I have to think about anything at all for those floors. So I am going to be spending 200 hallowed marks to unlock private instances. Now, anytime I enter the Sepulchre, it will give me a brand new instance, and I'll never see another player in the course. That'll make it so everything is consistent every time, which will help out a lot on the way to 99. New PB, 636. And there's another one, 607. I felt really good about that one. And there we go, that is the first level of the grind, 95 agility. At this point, I'm feeling like this is coming pretty naturally, so I'm happy about that. I think soon I'm gonna start looking at some guides that drill down into the specific obstacles so I can identify any time saves I'm missing. Ooh, elite casket, here we go. Yo, it is the best item in the game, the boot. I fucking love this thing. I also got a scarf, but that doesn't matter because of the boot. I've just learned something that'll actually change how I approach this grind a little bit. A little while ago, I said something like, the Grand Coffin at the very end gives the best loot and also has the chance to give 2 unique items, the Strange Old Lockpick and the Ring of Endurance. I was actually wrong about that. The Grand Coffin only has the Ring of Endurance as a unique, not the Strange Old Lockpick. The lockpick is actually obtainable from all the other coffins, not the Grand Coffin, and I got tripped up because there are some coffins on the 5th floor that are not the Grand Coffin, and you can get it from those. Now, I've already gotten a lockpick before, but I'm not necessarily against the idea of stacking up multiple of them, and because the 5th floor has a portal coffin, which I can easily keep runes on me for, I think I'm just gonna start looting that specific one in addition to the Grand Coffin. And as an extra bonus, I'll get a bit more loot from this, though the main thing I'm looking for is more Ranar seeds. It'll slightly reduce my XP per hour because it'll take a bit longer to complete a run, but it's not gonna put me in danger of ever missing the timer. And one other thing, because I'm going to start doing that portal coffin, I'm also going to buy the Hallowed Focus for 100 hallowed marks, and that'll make it so I'll never fail the enchantment, which is something that can normally happen with the portals. I'm also going to start wearing a Staff of Water for infinite water runes for level 1 enchant, so I can just use 1 cosmic rune per lap. The focus goes in the offhand slot, so I can wear both of them at the same time. Okay, so this is the 5th floor portal, so I can... Oh my god, the cosmic runes, I'm a moron! There we go, just gonna start doing this coffin in addition to the Grand Coffin, and that will hopefully get me a few more lockpicks and Ranar seeds. It should add like 15 seconds to every run, which means the 99 grind is gonna take like an hour and a half longer, which is not bad at all. You may be wondering why I'm not death banked for this, and the answer is that I very well could be. Technically, the Hallowed Sepulchre is a dangerous activity because you can take damage from the traps, and theoretically, if you do die, it can do things like wiping death storage, but once you get the Hallowed Ring, the traps don't damage you anymore, so all the damage you take is if you happen to get poisoned on one of the chests, but that damage just flat out cannot get you anywhere close to dying at 99 HP. Technically, you could also potentially misclick and leave the Sepulchre into Darkmire where the fires will attack you, but I changed the left click option to make that impossible too. So yeah, theoretically I could do all of this death banked and be safe, but there's not really a reason to. My weight is still less than 0 with the setup, and I have all the inventory space I need, so I don't gain anything out of being death banked for this. Hey, there is lockpick number 2. This portal coffin is already paying off. And with this floor completion, that'll be 96 agility. That's the last level that unlocks anything. It's the level for the shortcut that skips all of the Legends Quest cave for that clue step. And it's also the last level that boosts my run energy restoration. Another thing I didn't realize is just how many soul runes I'd be getting with this grind. 4,600 already, and I'm not even halfway done. Oh my god, that is another lockpick. I'm up to 6 now. I think at this point, I just need to start alching them as I get them. I don't have the inventory space for this, and I don't think I care about barrows that much. There's 200 completions, which is the drop rate for the Ring of Endurance, which honestly, I'll take that. It's honestly time I go dry for once on this account. And that is why I'm still opening this coffin on the 5th floor. The Ranar seeds are really nice. 97 agility, this is honestly going a lot smoother than I thought. I feel like I'm getting into a bit of a flow state with this. The time just sort of goes by while I'm doing Sepulchre and watching a YouTube video or something. I'm about halfway done with the grind at this point, so let's get these last 2 levels and take it home. Okay, I have been at it for a while now, and I now have 3,000 hallowed marks, which is enough to buy the Dark Acorn from the shop. This is a transmog for the squirrel pet, which I got a long time ago on this account, that makes it black and red. I don't really have much else to spend the hallowed marks on, so this is a nice little bonus, I guess. He's edgy. Ooh, the Blacksmith's Helm. That's another nice one from Elite Clues. I'm getting all the Elite Clue uniques on this grind. And that's 98 agility, just about there. Got about 13 more hours to go. And this will be 99 agility, 3 more skills to go, and then I'm done. And 42 is in the video, poggers. The agility cape has one benefit, which is that it gives you 1 full run energy restored daily, and it also gives you a stamina pod effect for 1 minute. It's not really too useful. It also acts as a graceful cape, but again, that's not really very useful. And now to use up the rest of my hallowed marks, I'm going to be buying hallowed sacks for 100 marks each, which gives me extra rewards from the coffin loot table. It gives you some items from each of the different levels of loot table in the Sepulchre, and the one I care about is the high tier table, since that's the one with Ranar seeds on it. The sacks give 2 rolls on the high tier table, and the Ranar seeds are 1 in 10 on that table for 1 or 2 seeds, so I won't be getting that many, but there's not much else I can do with the marks, so let's do it. Cool, that is 3 extra seeds and a lot of extra runes. The bagged herb lore is looking good, and I'll be able to talk a lot more in depth about that once I get to the point of really going for 99 herb lore. And also, in case you were wondering, going from 94 to 99 agility at the Sepulchre got me about 15,000 soul runes, which equates to 7,500 shadow charges after buying the chaos runes. At this point, it's time to turn my attention to the final 3 skills I have left: mining, prayer, and herb lore. These are the 3 that I was most concerned about from the very start, and here's why. Herb lore is the most difficult skill to actively train on a UIM, period. Virtually everything about this skill's design assumes that you can just stockpile all the herbs and herb seeds you get throughout the entire lifetime of your account, and that's simply not possible on a UIM. Inventory space is valuable, and every stack of seeds or noted herbs is 1 fewer inventory slot to work with. There are methods of actively trying to collect more herbs and seeds, but they're not very good. I currently have enough herb seeds in my seed box to get me about 70% of the way from my current herb lore XP to 99 herb lore, and I'm gonna have to come up with a way to make up that gap. Prayer is very similar to herb lore in that it requires you to collect a lot of resources from other activities and use them up to get prayer XP. Bagging prayer XP on a UIM can be even more difficult than bagging herb lore XP because bones are not stackable and you can't note them like you can with herbs on a tool leprechaun. But that said, there are some methods of actively gaining prayer XP with 0 input that are a lot better than trying to do the same thing with herb lore. And finally, mining. This one doesn't really have anything to do with me being a UIM, mining is just my least favorite skill in the game. There are so many mining methods in the game, but each of them has something really unpleasant about it. Star mining is barely any XP per hour, granite mining is very click intensive, volcanic mine requires coordinating with other players, mining is just very unpleasant to train no matter how you're tackling it. That said, in March of this year, a new method was added to the game that's going to help me take care of not one, but two of these three skills. This is Camtorum, one of the areas added with the Varlamore update. It's home to the Moon's Apparel boss, it has Nagawa enemies that are good for training combat on, it has some unique shops, but the main thing I'm interested in is here, the Camtorum mine. In addition to iron, coal, mithril, and adamant rocks, this mine is special because it contains calcified rocks. If you remember way back when I started my maxing grind by doing Hunter Rumors to 99, I talked about how a lot of different skilling and PVM activities in Varlamore can give you these blessed bone shards, a stackable source of prayer XP, and this is one of them. When you mine calcified rocks, you're not mining for ores, you're mining for bone shards. Each successful mining action gives 1 to 3 bone shards and 33 mining XP. This equates to about 45k mining XP per hour, but there's a twist. I can use tick manipulation here just like I did for 99 fishing, and using tick manipulation at the Bone Shard mine virtually doubles the XP per hour. 94k mining XP per hour, and on the way to 99 mining I will get 1.7 million bonus prayer XP for free, getting me much closer to 99. Just like with fishing, I'm going to be trying to spend as much time as I can using tick manipulation, but one nice thing about the method is that I can very easily switch between 1.5 ticking and AFK. There's no setup required for tick manipulation with this method like there is for stuff like 2-tick teaks. This is probably going to be the last really long grind I have before maxing. It'll be about 70 hours theoretically if I'm 1.5 ticking the whole time, and that can scale up to about 140 hours depending on how much I'm AFKing. Oh, you keep the strange old lockpick on death. It's... okay, well I guess it's not really a big problem for this, it just means I'll have to interact with my inventory a bit more frequently, which probably won't be a big deal. Alright, so here we are. I'm gonna spend some time getting a feel for what it's like here, and then I'll talk a bit about how this works. Okay, so first impressions. I am really liking this method, and it's nice to go to something I can AFK after doing 50 hours of Sepulchre, which has to be active. Yes, I'm gonna need to actively train a good chunk of this mining grind or else it's gonna take way longer, but it's good having the option to just immediately switch to AFKing if I want, and immediately switch back to 1.5 ticking it later. I'm gonna go a lot deeper into this method in the next video, but for now, I think I'm gonna enjoy this one. So a few hours later, since I was getting pretty close to this already, 93 mining is the first level of the grind, but there's actually something more important than that. So with that level, that actually gets me into the top 500 UIMs on the high scores for the first time. Not only is that a big achievement in and of itself, but if you remember from the last video, I've sort of made it my goal to be one of the first 500 UIMs to max, so getting into the top 500 on the high scores is really big, because it means I don't have to climb any more ranks, I just have to maintain my current rank. Now, I do think I'm going to end up climbing ranks anyway, since I'm actively trying to max right now, and I imagine a lot of people in front of me are not, but it's cool to see that I'm now on pace to make it into the first 500 to max. And that's going to be it for this video, I think. It's just the big three now, mining, prayer, and herblore. And in the next video, I'm going to be taking 2 of those out and setting up for the big finale. And I will see you then.